everyone, and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Cooper Gretsch, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumours and results. And I've got a very loaded show for you guys and girls today. We've got the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. We've got plenty of things to bang on about the deliberate call on Jordan De Goey, the disgraceful umpiring in that clash, particularly in the last quarter, and just the non-holding the ball calls in the St Kilda game. There was a lot of them. And I'm going to go through that as well. And of course, on Scoops S3 Bang also, I'm going to be discussing the Jason Horne-Francis booing from all clubs outside of the Roos. I'll be talking about that in Scoops Goes Bang as well. Because I know a lot of people want to know my thoughts. I said I'll leave it for the podcast. And tonight, I will reveal that. Also on the show, we have the team of the week and a review round 7 and preview round 8. Supercoach talk, my Scoops medal votes, heavily debated team of the week. And returning, the rolling All-Australian team is back. Now, here's what I'm going to do with the rolling All-Australian team, guys and girls. I'm going to be posting it over time. It's not going to be every single week from now, from round 7 to round 23. I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to just bring it back at random times. So round 7, I might bring it back at round 14 and around 18, and then not bring it back until the bye week around to reveal my final team. I feel that to be better. What do you think of the structures? Do you think that's a good structure? Comment down below. Leave a like on this video if you haven't already. Turn on the bell for all notifications. We're aiming for 20 likes for this video. Please smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. We'd greatly appreciate it. Doing the live streams as well. Get a lot of new people on here engaging in the live stream, so I really appreciate you all. But yeah, we're also going to start off with this. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Merch. Still in the works. If you want the merch that I've had in the past, t-shirts, stubby holders, stickers, hats, etc., comment down below if you like to see them. If there's not enough want for it, I'm not going to bring it back. There's just no point. Unless there's want from you guys, then I'll probably bring it back. And cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend? Wish someone happy birthday, congratulate them on an engagement, something about football, Supercoach, a basketball competition, cricket comp, etc. You want me to roast someone just to tell them something? You want me to motivate somebody? Cameo.com/Cooper G. Send your requests through there. And some news, I just want to mention this news off the top. Cozzy Pickett has officially signed a 4-year deal with the Demons. So it's a good news for the Demons fans and not for the SA teams. Matt Johnson copped a 2-week suspension for the Doggers for that sling tackle on Dane Zorko. And Sam Petrisky-Seaton has received a 1-week ban for his sling tackle on Alex Singh-Cotter. And yeah, that's just some of the general news. And of course, the big news today, officially, Andrew Dillon is the new AFL CEO, and that will come into effect at the end of the 2023 AFL Toyota Premiership season. And also, in the coming days, as early as tomorrow, Tasmania will be officially licensed as a new AFL team from, I think it's 2027 onwards. So they're going to join the VFL the year before their AFL debut. So that will be 19th team. Is it going to be a 20th team? I would hope so, because I don't want an uneven number. I hate the buys. I technically didn't want any more new teams. But if you're going to have more teams, at least make the number even. I don't want to end it on 19. I want it to be 20 before that 2027 season, or I want to be annoyed about that. Don't want uneven numbers. Now, we'll move on from that, and we'll go to the world famous, and trust me when I say it is world famous, it is. Check the analytics. The world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Oh, what am I going to be banging on about today? Well, there's a few things I'll be banging on about. Oh, calm down. Calm down. I know I'm going to be explosive in this Scoops Goes Bang. I know. Just, thank you. All right. Scoops Goes Bang. Now, seriously, I would play the footage, but you all know if I play the footage, the video is going to get banned. So I've got one still photo for you of the Jordan De Goey incident. Oh, not the Jordan De Goey incident. The Ash Johnson one at the end of the game. This was not paid as a high tackle. Why it wasn't a high tackle? It's Just embarrassing. I'm getting the photo up now, just loading. This one, right here. Clear as day. Jordan Butts has his shoulder well over Ash Johnson. And when you see that actual footage, he continues to keep it around his neck. And how that wasn't a free, I won't know. That is ridiculous. Now, also, the Jordan DeGoey deliberate call. Nathan Murphy had a big knock, which also wasn't paid a free, which was absolutely ridiculous. The play was played on. And then all he and the doctors were walking off slowly. Geordie, the ball went near Nathan Murphy and the doctor. And Geordie was, if there was no players there, he would have got it in clear space, picked it up and continued on. But he, being the common sense, he socked the ball away from the play to the boundary. Now, you could say that's deliberate. Yes, it was deliberate, but it wasn't deliberate to be afraid of the Crows. It was deliberate in his act to be kind to his teammate and the doctor, going, fuck, if I pick this up or try to pick this up and Adelaide player tries to tackle me, I'm going to run into Murph and the doctor. And this was paid deliberate. Where's the common sense, AFL umpires? I've had enough of this bullshit with the umpiring. It is ridiculous. I made a post last night saying, enough is enough. I've been saying this for weeks, for months, for years. The umpiring is crap. Can the AFL come out and admit that the umpiring is dog crap? It is crap. Get rid of them. You make a shit call. None of those umpires in that Adelaide-Collingwood game should be umpiring this week at all. I would say sack them, but we know they're not going to do that. All four of them omitted. I don't care who was closest. The whole lot of them. It's going to be that stupid throughout that whole game. Ridiculous. It was embarrassing. Geordie was doing common sense thing to deliberately not have the players and the doctor ran into while they're walking off through an injury. Even Craig McRae was pissed off about it, and I'm glad he was. So a lot of the coaches like to, dance around the bush and that most of the time. I love Craig that he said, no, what was that for? Where's the common sense, basically, he said. And he's right. Where is the common sense there? Do you think that in that close game when the Collingwood were down, they were down at this point? Why the hell is he trying to make it out deliberate? He was doing it because the doctor was in the way, and then the dumb umpires were dumb enough not to realise that. That's why he did it. I knew straight away that's why he did it for. Why would he kick it out when he had no one near him in that space? And it was well in play. So why the hell would he go for the boundary line when they're behind too? And there wasn't long left. Look, where's the common sense? The umpiring is stupid. The AFL need to actually come out for once, which they never will, and admit properly that not only this round umpiring was shit, they've umpired crap all year. And they need to do something about it. Don't bring up this, what a new umpire bullshit to me, like some people have. No, you've got the rules. Follow common sense properly. The rules are pretty dodgy, some of them. But where's the common sense there to Geordie? Do you think I'm repeating myself because it's pissing me off and I'm not even involved in this game. St Kilda's not even involved. Because I'm not trying to be biased. I am trying to state the facts that the umpiring in all games is shit. And it needs to be changed. AFL, make a statement. Andrew Dillon, you're now the new CEO. I know in season technically Gill still is. Make a stand like you did in your presser today and say that enough is enough and the umpire needs to be changed. To the AFL, lift your game. Pathetic. The umpiring in the Saints Port game, I could give you, again, I can't put footage in, but there was about 8 or 10 examples where Port Adelaide plays him mainly, picked up the ball, dropped it, didn't dispose of it properly. Isn't that saying incorrect disposal? That means it's a free kick to the team that done the tackle. But no, there was about 8 of them they didn't give to St Kilda. Now people are going to say, St Kilda had double the free kicks. I'm sorry, I didn't know it had to be equal. Yes, that's a big difference. I understand that. But if you're not watching the game and you're just looking at the AFL app and reading the bloody free kick tally, your opinion's invalid. Watch the game and then you can give a better say. Was there somewhere St Kilda may have got, not supposedly gifted frees, but got frees that they probably shouldn't have? Probably. But that happens in every game for every team. Look at the Bulldogs game, for example. Bontempelli, McRae, and a lot of their other midfielders and players pick up the ball, dropped it, same as the examples of the Saints game, and nothing happened. Hawthorn were robbed a fair few times when the game was in the balance in the third quarter. It is annoying. It is frustrating. The umpiring is utter garbage. The fourth umpire has made absolutely no difference at all. If it's made it worse, I don't know how it can make it worse, but it has. You've had umpires overrule other umpires that are in the area. Like, it just, and sometimes it was for the right call. How can an umpire 5 meters away with a perfect view not notice a dropping the ball, but an umpire 50 meters away can? Like, seriously, are you that bad at your job? If people were as bad as the job as you are, the umpire in this is, you'd be sacked. You'd be given the boot. And you still get a job week after week after week. Learn your own rules or get out. Lift your game. Now, oh boy. The Jason Horne-Francis booing from all fans of all clubs outside of his own old Port Adelaide. Now, people are saying, Scoops, the Saints fans were booing him. Yeah, they were. But so was every other club that Port Adelaide's played so far. Is it fair? Probably not. But here's the thing, this is the part where I said a while ago, I don't agree with Ken with when he said he's 19 and that, he's not 28. It shouldn't matter what age you are for that. If it's 28, what's the difference outside the age? You're saying only young players don't deserve it and the older players stuff them. They can cop it. Well, they deserve it. No, they don't. No one does. It's only booing. There comes to a point where they're threatening him and abusing him in a way. Booing is fine. Now, granted, St Kilda fans and every other fans that Port have played so far, the Bulldogs, etc., it's not necessary. No, it's not. Why they did it, I don't know. I wasn't a part of that. It's just why. The only way I could understand a non-North Melbourne club booing Horne-Francis if he had an incident when he played for North and he did something, or in a game this year for Port, like if he bumped someone from behind or smashed someone into the fence or he slammed someone into the ground, I would understand if he did something like that. But if you're just booing in general, mate, he's not a murderer, right? Now, Horne-Francis, this is the thing with North Melbourne fans, they have every right to be pissed off. He shit-talked David Noble. He shit-talked Todd Goldstein while he was at North Melbourne. And you can see in the footage in one of the games where he was yelling at Goldie, who's a 301-game superstar and counting. But even if he was a one-gamer from Horne-Francis, it was pathetic then. How he treated these North Melbourne players was pathetic. You're seeing Zerha, always acts tough, saying stuff about it in the trade period time, about the sponsorship things and all that, blah, blah, blah. North Melbourne fans and players have every right to be pissed off with Horne-Francis. He left them, he shit-talked them, the ice bath thing, taking corns, not making it any better, and all the other stuff in between with North he did. Leaving for bigger money, wants to go home after 1 year. Like, North Melbourne fans have every right to boo him for a long time. But every other club fans that boo him, why? It's like I said before, unless he's sling tackles someone to the ground, bumps someone from behind, king hits someone or anything like that, your club fans have no, well, they really have no right to boo him. You can boo all you want. Like, if he got a free kick and you technically booing the umpiring, but that's not what it was. You were booing him at every disposal he had. I'm not just talking about St Kilda fans here. I'm talking about the other clubs that they faced so far, Port Adelaide, the Bulldogs, etc. They're just ones I was talking about I knew they played. Brisbane they've played as well. So, like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm not going to say leave it alone. I'm going to say to the fans of non-North Melbourne fans, when Horne-Francis hasn't done an incident, you need to lift your game. This ain't just a Horne-Francis. If he knocks someone out, if he slams someone into the ground, bumps someone, abuses your team online, abuses someone online, or talks shit about that team, fair enough. If you've done nothing to that club, the fans of those clubs have... It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't really boo at all, if at all. Even when someone does those bad instances off play, I don't really boo at football. There's nothing wrong with booing if they do something. If they're not doing something, like, just calm it down, will you? Just calm it down, okay? So the fans that boo him for absolutely no reason outside of booing him, you need to lift your game. North Melbourne fans, go right ahead. He treated your club like shit. I would understand it for North fans. But other club fans, lift your game. There you go. That was a long edition of the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Now, we're going to move on to... Yes, here it is, gents. My Round 7 AFL Team of the Week. From the back... Oh, we've got to get it up. Yeah, here we go. From the back line, the pockets, Darcy McPherson and Cal Wilkie. Full back, Charlie Ballard. Half-back flankers, Will Powell and Jack Sinclair. Centre-half back, Darcy Moore. Wingman, Christian Petrarca and Blake Acres. Centreman, Clayton Oliver. Half-forward line, the flankers, Toby Green and Jake Stringer. Centre-half forward, Charlie Curnow. Forward pockets, Ben King and Harry Perryman. Full forward, Tom Hawkins. Ruckman, Rowan Marshall. Rovers, Noah Anderson and Lockie Neal. Interchange, Rory Atkins, Steve Canelio, Cade Chandler and Darcy Parish. And the sub, Nick Newman. Reasons, and the emergencies. Will Ashcroft, Mitchell Lewis, Sam Wiedemann, Peter Laddams and Will Day. Reasons, well, you're going to say, good God, how many Gold Coast players you got? Gee, they only just won by 20. But that's irrelevant. Their whole back line was phenomenal. I could have added, I didn't put on the emergency list, I could have added Sam Collins easily to the team as well. Charlie Ballard destroyed Jack Riewoldt. Jack Riewoldt had no influence at all, only got one goal. Ballard collected 22, 24 disposals of his own, kept Jack Riewoldt to next to nothing, had good intercept possessions, intercept marks, and 1%ers, so he was a lock. Darcy McPherson had just about 30 disposals halfback, good efficiency. Along with his run off halfback of Will Powell, both were absolutely awesome. Will Powell, about 29 disposals at 90-odd% efficiency, was a lock as well. And Cal Wilkie, despite the Saints' loss, did a solid job in the back line on Port Adelaide's forwards. And he had 22 disposals himself, a lot of intercept possessions and marks, and 1%. So Cal is having an all-Australian caliber year. And Darcy Moore, 22 odd disposals, about 14 intercept marks at like 78%. And now the big thing with this, guys, is apparently he had 14 turnovers. Like, what? How do you have 78 disposal efficiency and 14 turnovers in 22 disposals? That just doesn't make sense. But regardless, he had a lot of 1%, like 11. It's a lot of intercept possessions and marks. He was a lock as well. He did a good job. And the Pies' close 1-point win. Jack Sinclair, 33 disposals. He's a star, Jack Sinclair. All Australian in the past, will be again, you would think, at this stage. He's been an absolute beast and great game on the weekend. 33 disposals, 33 possessions, high efficiency as always. Seems to be on repeat with Jackie Sinclair. Sinks is on fire. Wingman Petrarca kicked 3 and 37, so he was a lock. Clayton Oliver, 37 disposals, a lock. Blake Acres, 35 disposals, very good efficiency, good meters gained, and score involvement, so which is why Blake Acres is in the team. Clayton Oliver, I know I mentioned already, but 37 disposals, decent efficiency, and there wasn't a big load of midfielders that were dominating this round. So there could have been a round where we could have gone on the bench, but I wasn't as many dominant mids. The half-forward line, Toby Green, 4 and 22, the match winner. It was a green day at the MCG. It was a Green Day performance. No, not Green Day the band. Toby Green, Tom Green. We'll get to Tom Green in a second when we go through the GWS game. But yeah, he was good. He was really good. Yeah, so 4 goals, 22 disposals. Kicked a thrilling last-minute goal with 40 seconds to go. There's a spot. Charlie Curnow kicked. Well, he kicked 9. So 18 disposals. 9-2, I think, kicked. Don't have to explain it anymore. Obvious choice. The package, Jake Stringer, 4 and 27. Despite a big loss, he was still very good for the Bombers against Geelong. Ben King kicked 4 important goals for the Suns. He was automatically getting in. Tom Hawkins kicked 8, like Curnow. Don't have to explain it anymore. Harry Perryman kicked 3 and 21. Very good player up forward. Rowan Marshall, 26 disposals as the ruckman. 28 hit-outs. 13 clearances. Bunch of score involvements. Kicked a goal himself. I mean, there was no ruckman that you could say was close to Rowan Marshall this week. Then Noah Anderson, about 28 disposals, about 14 contested possessions, about 9 clearances, 6 or 7 score involvements. He was absolutely phenomenal. Lachie Neale, 27 disposals, but a lot of contested possessions and clearances and score involvements. Lachie Neale deserves a spot. Now the bench, Rory Atkins on the Suns. And out of the side for in and out for since he started at the Gold Coast from the Crows to the Suns, and he signed a 5-year deal. But 28 disposals, but he was very good off the wing and half back. Good efficiency, which is 84%, I think he was, so he deserves a spot in the team. I already said Rory Atkins. Stephen Coniglio, one of the best players for the Giants, 2 goals, 28 disposals was a lock. Cade Chandler, 3 goals and 21 disposals was a lock. Darcy Parish, 38 disposals, had decent efficiency, about 14 contested possessions, a lot of clearances and score involvements, had to get in. And then the sub was Nick Newman, who had 34 disposals for the Blues. I mean, any other week he could probably get in the back line. But that Suns back line and the Saints back line, Sinclair and Wilkie, and then Darcy Moore was dominant. Then those Suns, Will Powell, McPherson, and Ballard. So that's why Nick Newman's a sub. Will Ashcroft was probably the next mid, along with Will Day, and then Tom Green. I forgot to add to these lists. You could add to that as well. Then the next ruckman was Peter Adams. The next 2 key forwards was Mitchell Lewis and Sam Weedman. Now, you say Mitchell Lewis only had 1 Scoops. 11 marks. I think 8 of those were contested. Or not even 14 marks of 11 contested. Great game. About 14 disposals as well. Had he kicked straight, he was a lock. I mean, Kerno kicked 8, 9, Hawkins kicked 8, King kicked 4, Stringer kicked 4, so, and Perryman kicked 3. So, it's the only reason Mitch Lewis missed. He was the nominee and gave Liam Jones an absolute bath. And Peter Adams was the next ruckman, but as I said, no one was close to Rowan Marshall. Leave your thoughts on my team of the week down below. Now we're going to go review the round 7 games. Started all the way back on my birthday. Go check out my birthday vlog, Saints v Power, if you haven't already. Around 800 views, so that's good. I appreciate you all watching that. If you haven't already, go check it on the channel and subscribe if you haven't already. St Kilda 76 defeated by the Power 83, pulled by 7 points. Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's just remind you all that the Saints are still third on the ladder. Just remember that. We're still third on the ladder. On percentage, we're second. Game behind the Pies now. Let's go. The Eagles and the Hawks and Richmond down the bottom. Their seasons are over. And North Melbourne's is over. Fremantle, it's almost over, but I've got faith in them that they can bounce back. But at the moment, I don't really see it. The Gold Coast Suns, good win over Richmond. They're still in the mix. The Giants are still in the mix. The Swans are definitely in the mix. The Bulldogs will be in the mix. And the Bombers, who are just fallen out of the 8, will be in the mix. And all those sides in the 8 could very well stay there at the end of the season. I don't see Collingwood, Melbourne, St Kilda, Brisbane, Port Adelaide, Geelong coming out of that 8. Carlton and Adelaide, I'm not so sure. I would say one of them could fall out at the expense of the Swans. So we'll just have to wait and see there. But yeah, going back to reviewing the games, it's a 7-point loss, unfortunately, for my Saints, but it was frustrating. It was a close game. It was just the last 10 minutes or so when we were still in the game and Steely got a late goal. You're like, we're still in the game. We had opportunities to score. It was nothing to do with umpiring. It was just, we get it in, bomb it. Aaliyah was there. Trent McKenzie was there. Burton was there. It's just like, lower the eyes, as some people were saying to me. Yeah, it's just, they're outnumbered players. So where are our numbers then? If they got 3-on-1 in the forward line, you're bombing it to, where the hell are the other 2? Like, just think smartly, and they didn't think it through. They went back to the Brett Ratton of old game plan, just bombing it. With Ross, they haven't really been doing that. They've been doing it in patches like every team does, but like they've rarely done it. But in the last 10 minutes when it was crucial, they just kept bombing it. It's like, just hope the one of the 3 gets it for us. It's just like, it's just unbelievable. And it was frustrating. But Sinclair, Marshall, Steely was back to his best. Important goal in the last quarter, one on Steely. For the Power, Travis Boak was pretty good. Horne-Francis was solid, but he had a lot of turnover, so I didn't think he was good as what some people said he was. But he was still okay. So disappointing for the Saints, but we're still 5-2. So we can just relax on that, gents. People say, you use it done, you beat nobody. We beat Carlton, beat the Bulldogs who made finals last year, beat the Dockers who beat finals last year. Essendon are in, just dropped out of the 8 now. People are raving on about could be top 4 somehow. But we beat them. The Suns are on the rise. And you can only beat who's put in front of you. And we've done really well in every game we've been in. Even the Port and Collingwood games where we lost by 7 and 6 points respectively, we've still done pretty well. So Ross the Boss is great. With all these injuries, we're starting to get some players back. And there's an exclusive I can reveal. I posted earlier today on my Facebook page. There is a good chance that Max King could return against North Melbourne this week. Now, it's not a definite. I'm not going to run with a definite just yet. But it could happen. And if it doesn't, it'll be the week after against the Crows in Adelaide. So that's great news for the Saints if Max King can come back and help Membry, Phillippo, Owens, Higgins and Butler, and Cordy if you're still there. So it's going to be interesting to see at selection table. The Saints will Jack Billings come back in. Will my mate Phillippo get a rest? But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it was unfortunately a 7-point win for the Power. Brisbane and Freo. Brisbane 115, smashed Dockers 67, Brisbane 48 points. Neil, Ashcroft and Walters. Who got goal of the year? Was it Ashcroft? They're both pretty good. I would probably go Ashcroft at the moment. What do you guys think? Ashcroft or Walters? Comment below who's goal of the year. Brisbane got 48 points. So Hayden Young was pretty good. Andy Brazier kicked 2 and 30. Robbed in Supercoach again. We'll get to that shortly. But yeah, Brisbane were too good. Hipwood was pretty solid as well. Now, the Derby. 106 Sydney and 107 the Giants. GWS by 1 point. Tom Green. Absolute great games from both. Canelio was great. Chad Warner was good for the Swans. Parker as well. But it was Toby Green to kick that goal with 40 seconds to go. And even when the ball up happened, Sydney had another opportunity. The Giants could just hold on. Nick Haynes get the ball towards the end of the siren. It's a great high-scoring game. This game was close. The Giants had a lead. The Swans had a lead. Then, start of the fourth, the Swans got it out to 4 goals when that was the biggest margin they ever got all day. And credit to the Giants, they came back and had a good comeback. There was goals from Hogan and Green and Perryman, I think, as well. So it was great to see the Giants have been very competitive in every game this year. They have not been smashed in one game. The Giants are a side to keep an eye on. I'm a bit worried for the Saints when we play them in Canberra in a few weeks. I'm like, just keep a lid on it. It's just, don't know. The Giants are a dangerous team at the moment, and at home especially as well. But yeah, the Giants, great 1-point victory. They stole it. Toby Green, great player is Toby Green. You cannot doubt that. And if he was at a Victorian club, he'd be talked about as the best player in the competition. He's starting to finally get recognition from the Victorian media, but he still should be getting more recognised. He should be recognised as one of the best players in the competition, especially one of the best medium-sized small forwards in the competition. You can play through midfield as well. Very damaging with his disposal as well, and impacts the game unlike some. Right, next game to go through, it is the Western Bulldogs 94 defeated the Hawks 65. Bulldogs were 29. The scoreboard doesn't show the true part of this game. The Bulldogs were pretty scratchy for 3 quarters, but they just got a wriggle on late in the third, early in the fourth to get this margin to where it was. The Hawks are very competitive. Outside of that Geelong blowout, after the first half they were all right. First quarter they were all right. They've been pretty solid, and the Sydney game wasn't good for them. But outside every other game around that, they've been okay in patches, or they've been competitive for most. Will Day was great from suspension, who I got in my Supercoach team. Thank you, Will Day. Seamus Mitchell, why did he get subbed off? 11 disposals in 2.5 quarters for a young halfback, and was subbed off. I found that really odd. Yes, I got him in Supercoach, but it just didn't make sense, Sammy Mitchell. Scrimshaw, like for like, I get that. Could have been someone else. Anyway, unfortunately for the Hawks, they copped a loss. And they're not on the bottom of the ladder now. The Eagles are on percentage, you would have seen earlier on the screen. The Bulldogs got the win. Will Day, Newcomb, Warple. Ned Reeves was awesome for the Hawks. Probably his best game in his career against Tim English, who was okay. And Trelaw was okay for the Bulldogs. No clear standouts for them. Just an even spread of contributors. The night games, absolutely boring. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Melbourne 139, Roos 49. Melbourne by 90 points. Oliver, Petrarca, Chandler were awesome. For the Roos, the only thing I want to mention, they were pathetic. They were embarrassing. Clark would want them to lift their game against the Saints this week. Big time. One thing I do want to point out, I've been umming and ahhing whether I would mention this, but I'm going to. So Charlie Cobden, who unfortunately suffered what looked like a broken leg, and I felt really sick seeing it. You know, because you see him raise the arm out and they're down like something bad had happened. And I was a bit concerned because for any player that gets it, by the way, just keep that in mind. For any player, I would feel sick about it. But Charlie Comden, interesting story here. The day before, on my birthday on the Friday, I made that post tagging players, if they could respond and tag some players hoping they would wish me happy birthday. Not many of the ones in the post did, some did. But Charlie Cobden, who I don't have on Instagram, like he doesn't follow me back, well, I don't think so, it doesn't come up as that, didn't tag him. It was so nice of him. He messaged me. He's seen my story. I don't know how, but anyway, maybe he does follow on and it just doesn't show. I don't know. Instagram does that sometimes. Anyway, he seen my story and he messaged me and wished me happy birthday. Then I had a good chat, and to quote a good friend of mine, I was just speechless. I'm like, wow. Seeing the notification come up, so I just charged my phone, seeing the name pop. I'm like, hang on, what? I was like, it's Charlie Condon, that's a Rouge youngster. I'm like, what the? Oh, wow. But, well, if he's messaged me, I'm assuming he's seen my post, but I didn't tag him. And he wished me happy birthday. And we got into a good conversation for the whole night. And, yeah, we were just saying about his form, and I was telling him how good he started and hopefully he can keep it up and everything like that. And, you see some players that they don't want to talk themselves up. And Charlie was just like that. He didn't want to talk himself up. And I said to him, through all the injuries he's had and his form this year has been pretty solid. And David King's a big rep for him too. And, it just so nice of a person to message me when I didn't tag him, didn't expect it, and then to have a conversation with me for a good hour or so. And then it just made it even more worse for me knowing that a guy that did a great deed in a way the night before, then unfortunately have to suffer that. And now it's apparently only a broken ankle, which is not good either, but it's not as bad as a broken leg apparently. So I felt sick because the nice man he was to message me and then have a conversation with me. It was really nice of him. And then to see that just made it the night after, just made it even more worse. And like Will Powell, he's the same. He had a broken leg. I still speak to Powley, who also wished me happy birthday. So appreciate you, mate. And then he had that broken leg the year before. It can be a cruel game sometimes. To some of the nicest people can cop injuries like that. It just sucks. But Charlie, I wish you all the best in your recovery, mate. But yeah, the game itself, North Melbourne were absolutely terrible. That first quarter before Charlie got injured was like 5 goals to none. Inexcusable. That effort from the Roos was crap. Melbourne were dominant. Che Chandler was taking the piss. 3 goals, 21 disposals as a small forward. Awesome. Oliver and Petrarca doing what they always do, dominating games. Now, it's talking about another terrible game. It was the Eagles and the Blues. You could excuse the Eagles because they've got about 17 players injured. Luke Shuey, Yo, Sheed, Nat Nui, Hearn, McGovern, Liam Ryan, Jamie Cripps. It's just the list goes on and on and on. Shit performance from them, but 44 Eagles, 152 Carlton by 108. Got to give credit to Charlie Curnow, kicking 9 goals, 2 and 8 in his disposal was awesome. You're on Tom Barras, that's a really good defender. He did that on. Akers, Walsh, Cripps, Chera, all had 30 plus disposals and decent efficiency in contested disposals. All very good in that dominant win over the Eagles. We moved to the Sunday games. This game started like the North Melbourne game for Essendon and Geelong. 104 Essendon, Geelong 132, Geelong by 28. They were never losing it after that first quarter and a half, 2 quarters. To Essendon's credit, I suppose they kept it relatively even from halftime, but the damage was already done. String of 4 goals and 27 disposals was great. Wiedemann kicked 5 and 11 possessions was good. Dangerfield was one of Geelong's best players. So was Hawkins kicking 8 was another good performance from Tom Hawkins, who played on Brandon Thatcher. I mean, Essendon changed it after halftime, but the damage was already done. Why you had Cirque Thatcher on him to begin with, I won't know. It was stupid coaching from Brad Scott. Should have brought in someone from the 2s that could play that position, who's a bit bigger in size as well. Or move the magnets around. Oh, I know Wiedemann kicked 5. This may sound stupid, but Wiedemann's a bit more bigger in size. You could have just experimented with that for that game or that half. I know he does play well as a forward and backup ruck, but it couldn't have hurt, could it? Because it just ruined the structure. Ridley then went on him, ruined his running game. Dirk Thatcher went to Cameron. So it was just like, he just ruined the structure for their running halfbacks with Redmond as well. So I thought they should have changed something up like that, but here we are. Now, great win for the Suns at Marvel. Gold Coast Suns, 72 defeated the Tigers, 48, Gold Coast 24. King, McPherson, Powell, Ballard, Witts, Atkins, Sexton, Nick Holman. The whole team was awesome. Ben kicking in 4. Ben Ainsworth was pretty solid as well. The Tigers are absolutely cooked. Now, you can mention the injuries about Tom Lynch and Nankervis and Pressia. I'll give you that, and Robbie Tarrant to a degree, because the structure would be important and experience in the back line. But really, that's no excuses. St Kilda have had about 15 players out from round 1 before we are, and we're playing well. And we're starting to get those players back. Every club has injuries. I think Hard was just upset that the Richmond dynasty, as they called it, is over, and they're not making finals. Dimmer, you mad, bro? But yeah, unfortunately for the Tigers, they're done. They're absolutely done. You can put a line through them. They're done. Suns awesome. Now, the game of the round in the end, or was it? Maybe it was the Giants and Swans. What are your thoughts down below, guys? What the game was the best game of the round? Was it GWS Sydney or the Crows and the Pies? I would probably have to say the Giants game because of the high scoring and filling part in it. With the Crows game was just low scoring. But yeah, 56-57. Sorry, take that back. 58-59. Favour of the Pies at 1 point. I mentioned that Johnson and DeGoey deliberate and non-free kicks before. It was shit umpiring. What do you expect? The umpire's been a joke. I'm not going to repeat that, but Josh Dacos played well in the last quarter. Nick Dacos was well taken by Ben Keys, especially in the first half. But it was a win for the Pies in a close game. I basically went through it all before. Craig McRae, what a master coach. The Pies, what a master team. They always can come from behind, whether it's 20, 30 points, etc. So they're a dominant team, the Pies. Now we're going to move on to the Scoops medal votes. Going to reenact it like the great Gillon McLaughlin. Round 7, St Kilda v Port Adelaide. St Kilda, Jay Steele, 1 vote. St Kilda, Jay Sinclair, 2 votes. St Kilda, R Marshall, 3 votes. Brisbane v Fremantle. Fremantle, A Brayshaw, 1 vote. Brisbane, W Ashcroft, 2 votes. Brisbane, Al Neil, 3 votes. GWS v Sydney. GWS, H Perryman, 2 votes. GWS, Tom Green, 2 votes. GWS, Toby Green, 3 votes. Western Bulldogs v Hawthorn. Hawthorn, M Lewis, 1 vote. Hawthorn, N Reeves, 2 votes. Hawthorn, W Day, 3 votes. Melbourne v North Melbourne. Melbourne, K Chandler, 1 vote. Melbourne, C Oliver, 2 votes. Melbourne, C Petrarca, 3 votes. West Coast v Carlton. Carlton, N Newman, 1 vote. Carlton, B Akers, 2 votes. Carlton, C Curnow, 3 votes. Essendon v Geelong. Essendon, S Wiedemann, 1 vote. Essendon, J Stringer, 2 votes. Geelong, T Hawkins, 3 votes. Richmond v Gold Coast. Gold Coast, C Ballard, 1 vote. Gold Coast, N Anderson, 2 votes. Gold Coast, W Powell, 3 votes. Adelaide v Collingwood. Adelaide, R Laird, 1 vote. Collingwood, J Dacos, 2 votes. Adelaide, J Dawson, 3 votes. Now the leaderboard after round 7, in 3rd place on 11 votes is Toby Green. In 2nd place on 12 votes is Jack Sinclair. And equal first now on 14 votes is Clayton Oliver and Nick Dacos. Leave your thoughts down below, guys, on my Scoops medal votes. Just going to skim through the 3 votes in each game again. Rowan Marshall, 3 votes in the Saints game. Lachie Neale, 3 votes in the Lions game. Toby Green, 3 votes in the Giants game. Will Day, 3 votes in the Hawks game. 3 votes to Petrarca in Melbourne's game. 3 votes to Charlie Kerner in Carlton's game. 3 votes to Tom Hawkins in the Geelong game. 3 votes to Will Powell in the Gold Coast game. And 3 votes to Jordan Dawson in the Crows game. So, yeah, leave your thoughts down below my Scoops Mental votes and what you think. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And turn on the bell for all notifications. And smash that like button. Remember, we want 20 likes in this video. And donations are available too. Memberships are available on the channel. I forgot to mention that earlier as well. There. Now, just going to bring it up quickly. I didn't mention it earlier. Would you love to become a member? Scoops Elite member. This is the 2nd level membership, $14.99 a month. You get all the perks from the previous one, which I want to show right now, which include connecting through social media with me through Instagram if you're not blocked. The team of the week received before the podcast for the public and non-members. Priority access to joining my YouTube live streams. And you get that and more in this Elite pack that's $14.99 a month. The other one, for the people that can't see it, is $3.99 a month. The $14.99 a month one includes all those perks I just said, including a personalized video message from me once per month and a one-on-one audio call via Instagram once per month. If you would love to be a member, hit the join button and subscribe as well if you haven't already. The subscribe button is free, and so is hitting that like button. Smash that like button. All right, let's now go through my Supercoach talk. This round, I scored 2,197. Now I'm in the top 24%. I went up 1%. I was in the top 25, now top 24. It's frustrating. It really is. I mean, I really should be doing better than this. This is the scores I should be averaging. But a lot of people scored big scores this round. It's the premiums underperforming. This week, it was the other way around. It was the rookies. Green, my mate Filippo, and Van Rooyen. Terrible scores. Still good players, young players. Greeny's 26, but you know what I mean. Rookie price plays. And I've still kept 2 of them. Greeny's gotten the boot this week, which we'll get to reason why in a second. So I made 3 trades. Now, I was saying to one of the guys on the live stream last night, I don't want to keep wasting the boost trades, but to keep upgrading plays, I kind of need to do 3 trades. And I want to kind of leave 1 or 2 for the buy rounds. Now, I've got 2 left if I go with this 3rd boost. So if I do this, I probably won't do another one to the buy rounds. Do 1 in the buy rounds, potentially, and 1 after the buy rounds. That's a long-term plan, but things can change very quickly. So the 3 inclusions I made. The rookies I've taken out are Fergus Green, Noah Long, and Alwyn David Jr. I was tossing between Matt Johnson, Matt Roberts. You're like, well, Johnson's got a 2-week suspension and Roberts out for 8 to 10 weeks. Yeah, but I wanted to get the ones with the most money out that weren't really playing either or not worth keeping and get the money up this way so I can get a premium play better instead of just tossing going, I'll leave them on the bench, but they're 40,000 more. No, just piss them off. Johnson and Roberts I'm keeping basically for now only because, well, Johnson's only going to miss 2 weeks and be straight back in. Roberts, I know I can understand why, but I've got other players with a higher price on the bench who aren't really playing either, so it's just connect the dots. So just give her the high price one to make that money better for my overall team. So this includes taking out Toby Green, I wish. Out Fergus Green, Noah Long, and Alwyn David Jr. in Alex Sincotta, Ryan Angwin, and Stephen Canelio. Now, I was tossing up between Zach Butters and Jack Steele for the Canelio position. Because a mid-forward, I can just swap Rosie and plays like that around. So that's how we can get dual position play, stuff like that. I don't really need another dual position mid-forward, so I've got options there. So I don't have to have Canelio. Canelio's in the best form. Steele was great in his 2nd game back from injury. But hopefully he can keep that up Supercoach-wise. So I'm still debating whether I have Jack Steele or Canelio. So this is what the team structure after I move some positional moves. I moved Seamus Mitchell to the forward line from the defence. And that's how I trade Sincotta in and use the Davey trade, stuff like that. This is my back line now. I'm very happy with this. I was happy with it with Seamus Mitchell as the last player as well. But now it's this. Jordan Dawson, Jack Sinclair, James Sicily, Nick Datos, Will Day, and Alex Sincotta. bench is still Charlie Constable and Lockie Cowan. Cowan was one I was also thinking of trading, but again, I just went for the one with more money. And Cowan, who was managed last week, could come back in this week, but although they did have a big win, so probably not. We'll have to wait and see. So St. Cotter is my last defender I'm happy with. Eventually, when he keeps going well, if he's decent scores in the 80 range, hopefully he can keep that up for another 3 weeks. He was starting how Charlie Constable started, so hopefully he doesn't get dropped like Constable did. And I can make the money there eventually for him. But the back line, I'm pretty stable. I'm going to keep this for a while, I think. Or touch wood if they don't get injured. Midfield's led. Brayshaw still keeping. Oliver, Neal, Rosie, DeGoey, Ashcroft, and my mate Filippo. Now, on the bench in the midfield, I've got Ryan Angwin, Robertson, Johnson. So Angwin, I assume, will keep his spot. So if he does, and Filippo does get, if he got managed, I can play Angwin there. Otherwise, I can do a few positional moves where I can move St. Cotter into the midfield and I'll figure it out from there. Then the Ruckman, Witts and Marshall, they ain't changing anytime soon. Bench Ned Moyle. Forwards, Dunkley, Zeeble, now Stephen Canelio, Sheasel, Chandler, and Seamus Mitchell. Bench Jacob Van Rooyen and my mate Anthony Caminiti from the Saints. The forward line's the one I'm mainly doing a bit of work, but I'm still keeping an eye on that midfield with Brayshaw being robbed of points. Laird getting robbed from points. Sinclair's getting robbed of points big time in the back line. Will Day should have got 100. He was robbed. So I want to keep an eye on Cade Chandler's been a great pickup for me. Absolute steal he was when I got him at 123. That's all the same with those rookies, guys. You got to get them at their base price. You can't get them when they've gone up 100,000 already. Just no point. Because then they're averaging what you probably won't want a player that you're picking up at 300k for. They're averaging 70. That's good if you started them at 123 and could keep them along. But if you're trying to trade them in at 300 when they're averaging 70, it's just no point. It's just dumb moves that way. So I can't believe some people missed out on Sheasel. Like, wow. Anyway, any Supercoach questions you guys want from me? Team of the week, message me AFL Info Live on Instagram or Facebook. AFL information, trade rumors, and results. Now we're going to go and preview round 8, and then we'll go through my rolling all Australian team. So let's go preview the round 8 games. Starts on Friday night at Marvel Stadium. It's the Blues hosting the Lions, 7:50 Victorian time. I'll be tipping the Lions in a close game. Saturday, 1:45 at the MCG Victorian. All these times of Victorian time. Richmond hosting the Eagles. Richmond will probably win. But in saying that, they're not going well at the moment. Can the Eagles cause an upset? Can Simo and the crew get it done? I don't think they will, but would not shock me. But I'm tipping Richmond in this game. Geelong hosting the Crows at GMHBA 2:10 on Saturday. Tip Geelong. Crows, they could cause an upset. Twilight on Saturday, 4:35 at Heritage Bank Stadium up on the Gold Coast. The Suns hosting the Demons. I'm tipping Melbourne, but again, don't be surprised if the Suns knock them off. Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Victorian time at the Manuka Oval. The Giants hosting the Bulldogs. Gee, these two clubs do not like each other. They remember those prelims very well. Toby Green, when Dalhouse was there, and all that bullshit with Beveridge as well. So I'll be tipping the Giants at home. They've been pretty competitive in all the games this season. As I said, the Bulldogs still not sold on. The Dockers and the Hawks, 7:30 Saturday night at Optus Stadium. Tip the Dockers, but they want to hope they win this game. They didn't beat the Roos in Perth in round 1. Sunday games, 1:10 Adelaide Oval. The Power hosting the Bombers. I'm tipping the Power by 20-odd points. Collingwood, Sydney at the MCG, 3:20 on Sunday. I'll be tipping the Pies there by 20-odd points as well. And the Roos, Kanga, Roo. Will they be rooing on Sunday afternoon at Marble Stadium? I don't think so and hope not. The Roos host my Saints, 4:40. Max King, as I said earlier, could be back. Jack Billings can make his return after playing the two weeks ago. Saints, Sandringham at the bye this week. Hopefully Jack Billings is back and Max King's back. If Max King's not back this round, it'll be round 9 against the Crows. I'm obviously tipping my Saints to bounce back to get the job done. Now, guys, I am now going to go through my rolling all Australian team after round 7. As I said earlier, I'll just bring it out every so often. It's not going to be week after week after week. Probably bring it back this round to round 7. or after round 7. Then maybe round 12, 14 range, bring it again around 18, 19, 20. They're not bringing it again for the last little bit and then reveal it in the bye week round when the Brownlow and that is on, and those teams get revealed, Rising Stars, etc. And Mitch Owens has still got to be a chance for the Rising Star, by the way. Now, anyway, let's go through my rolling All-Australian team. Right. From the pockets, Callum Wilkie and Harry Sheasel. Sheasel, what a debut season has been, averaging about 28 disposals, good efficiency, been very dominating for a young player. He's on the level of what Nick Dacos was in his first year. He's been that good, that damn good. And he's been that damn good. He's going to be in the rolling All-Australian team for mine right now as after round 7. Cal Wilkie, best intercept marker in the comp this year. Lockdown defender as well. He's awesome. He's getting possessions as well. It's a no-brainer there. Sam Collins, I've got at fullback. Great selection of the Suns. Of all the gorilla key defenders with Cal's a bit smaller, but of the big size gorillas, key pillar to the Suns' key defenders. Sam Collins has been good in 1%ers, intercept disposals. He's been absolutely great. Marks as well. And he makes sure if he's not having a great game, he'll still make this key forward know that he's around. And he'll push him around, Sam Collins. Halfback line, the flankers, I've got Jack Sinclair and Nick Dacos. I mean, Sinks has been awesome, averaging around 30 disposals this year. High efficiency, kicks a goal or two here and there. It's put in the midfield. You can put him anywhere. Sinks started his career as a forward, playing midfield under Richo a little bit, and halfback with Ratton and Ross. So Sink and pushed him in the midfield from time to time when they need him. So he's ultra reliable, ultra consistent, one of the best players in the competition off the half in the back line, without question. The other one is Nick Dacos. I mean, do I have to explain it? Averaging over 30, well over 30, I think around 35 possessions, impacting games. The Anzac Day game was the T, 2 goals and 12 touches in the last quarter. Dominant, got them the victory over the Bombers in that comeback. They come back in every game, it seems. Quieter yesterday, but overall this season has been absolutely phenomenal. And centre half back is a fellow Magpie, Darcy Moore. He, Collins, and Wilkie, to me, have been the best 3 key position defenders this season. Intercept possessions, get some possessions, and he makes sure his opponent does not have a big game. So that's the back 6. So I'll repeat the back 6. Cal Wilkie, Sam Collins, Harry Sheasel, Jack Sinclair, Darcy Moore, and Nick Dacos. What do you guys think of that back line? Now, the wingmen. I've gone Mason Wood from the Saints and Josh Dacos. Mason Wood. What a story he's been since crossing over from the Roos as a preseason supplementary signing. You can't fault St Kilda for this selection. It costs nothing, just other than the list spot. He's been so damn good. He's been better in these 2 and a bit years at St Kilda than what he has been in his 9 or so years at the Roos. Awesome year. Star wingman. He's now going to be credited as the best wingman in the competition along with Josh Dacos this year so far, without question. Josh Kelly's been pretty good though too. But yeah, Dacos and Wood. Wood being an absolute revolutionary signing. Dominant, match winner, intercept mark king, good kick, long kick, left footer, decent distance kick, strong player, can tackle, can run, he can do it all, Mason Wood. He's under the St Kilda banner. Mason Wood has been awesome. Last year was great, and this year he's gone up a level even more, if that's even possible. He's raised to the top of the chain as the best wingman in the comp, along with Josh Dacos. Again, hard runner. Single-handedly helped the Pies get in the win in the last quarter. About 10 disposals a goal. He was great. A bit quiet in the first 3 quarters, but the last quarter he was dominant in an even game. And his season, he's running off his brother. The tandem with his brother, Nick, and Josh has been awesome. Deserves a spot in the team. So there you go. There's the back 6, centerman and wingman. And Clayton Oliver. I mean, pure inside mid, gets the contested possessions all the time, the clearances all the time, the score involvements all the time, pops up for a goal here and there. His efficiency's not the greatest, but I was looking at all these players that I've selected, and a lot of them in the midfield brigade, their percentage of efficiency for the season is in the 60s. There's only a few in the 70s. So you can fault them for the work they put in. So Oliver was the selection there. Now the half forward line. Flankers, I've got a Stephen Cornelio and Christian Petrarca. I mean, Petrarca You could put it in the midfield. But he's a goal kicker as well. And I wanted to put someone in these half-forward lines because there wasn't that many options. So I've put Petrarca there, averaging around 30 disposals, 28 disposals, I think. He'll be kicking goals. He kicked 8 goals this year as well, so deserves a spot in the team. Steve Cornelio, averaging 30 disposals this year, kicking up like Petrarca, popping up for some goals, plays midfield as well. And as I said, like Petrarca, not many good half forwards to select from, so he's in the team there. Centre forward, Charlie Curnow, the Coleman medal leader at the moment, has to be in the team. And he's getting possessions as well, having an influence. Forward pockets, Toby Green. Now you could say, oh, you can put him in half forward. The small forwards, again, wasn't that many. And Toby can play that role. He can play a multitude of roles, play midfield, play medium-sized forward, plays a key forward sometimes on the Dylan Grimes type, Cal Wookie type defenders. He can do it all, Toby said earlier. He deserves a spot on the team. 4 goals on the weekend, up there in the Coleman. Averaging a decent amount of disposals was a no-brainer for me. Charlie Cameron, the other forward pocket. Also a no-brainer. The next small forward, the most goals. Impacting games, kicked a game where he kicked 7 against the Giants, I think it was. So, at the moment, he's a pure small forward with Toby. They're the 2 clear standouts. And the full forward is none other than Jeremy Cameron, dominating for the Cats. He single-handedly won them the games early part of the season. Those wins against the Eagles, the Hawks. He's just doing it all, Jeremy Cameron, this year. Deserves a spot there. Now, the Ruckman. Debated 2 players. I've gone with Saint, Rowan Marshall. And they're going, oh, come on. Look at his stats. Averaging over 26 disposals a game or thereabouts. 20 disposals a game at least. High hit-outs as well, around the 30 range all the time. A lot of clearance to score, involvements, tackles. He's doing what a Ruckman is not expected to do. There's not many Ruckmen that do what Rowan Marshall can do. Run around the ground, get contested marks, get tackles, play like a midfielder for a Ruckman size, play up forward, can take a mark, can kick a goal, kick long, can run. It was an obvious choice for me. Along with the next Ruckman, who you're going to see on the bench, that's a spoiler. The 2 Rovers, I've gone, it's tough to choose the midfields because there wasn't many dominant midfields, but I went for guys whose sides may not be going the best, but they're doing really well. Caleb Sarong is one of the Rovers. He's just been phenomenal. The Doggers are getting smashed, but he ain't getting smashed. 30 possessions, up to 30 possessions, score involvements, tackles, goals, good efficiency, score involvements, meters gain is decent as well, not low all the time. So Caleb's having a great year, deserves a spot in the team. And the other midfielder, Tom Green. And the Giants are going okay. 3 wins now. So they're being competitive. Tom Green, at that 1-week suspension, he's averaging 32 disposals. So he's had 1 less game than everyone else in this rank of players that I've selected and in the top possession getters and everything. He's a contestant beast. He's a solid ball user. He's been great. He pops it for a goal now here and there, which is something he's clearly added to his game. So that's credit to Tommy Green. The Giants will not want to lose him. He's a great young player. He's the future of that midfield with Kelly, Whitfield, etc. Some of the young players pushing through there. So he deserved a spot there. Now, the interchange. That second ruckman I talk of, it's Tim English. Like Marshall's racking up decent possessions with kicking goals a game, can move around the ground. We remember not too long ago that English could not compete with the Marshalls, the Wits, the Darcys, the Gorns, the Grundys. He would get towered up by them. But now he's doing what happened to him to other players. So it's good to see for him. Credit to him. He's put in the work. To be fair, I was a critic at the time when he was getting beaten by Darcy going, can't pick this guy. And he's playing better as a forward, which he is. He can play forward too. And he's better off as a forward. Forward's got all their tall forwards. And they've got no other ruckman, so it just makes sense anyway. But yeah, he deserves a spot in the team. Having a great start, and let's see if he can keep it up. The 3 other players. Gone Luke Ryan is the next defender choice. Dockers ain't going well, but he's going well. Averaging about 26 disposals. A good kick, long kick. He can play as a key position defender if need be. He can run as well. Explosive player. Very versatile in the role he can play in defence. He can play midfield. He can play as a lockdown, a key position, running halfback, intercept marker. He does it all. Luke Ryan has been very underrated for the Dockers this season. Darcy Parish, averaging high 30s possessions, around the 38 disposal marks as an average. That's not why he's just in. His ball use has gotten better over the years now. He's having his career best year right now. He started well last year, but this year he's stepping up his game in terms of his score involvements, his scoring, clearances, contested possessions, everything. That's the part he's adding to his game, and he's done really well to add himself to the team. Now, the final spot in my interchange is a Sainer as well. His name is Brad Crouch. Completely underrated is Brad Crouch. I mean, people go, you can't be serious. Brad Crouch, like Parrish, has added a lot to his game. He's known for getting a lot of possessions, Brad Crouch. A lot of people criticize him. I said this a while ago with the coaches' votes. Brad Crouch is criminally underrated. Not just in the votes, but in general football. He's an accumulator. Like the Tom Mitchells of the world, people criticize him. He won a Brownlow, so that shit went to bed pretty quickly. Brad Crouch is on that level of playing that type of style, and he's having an impact with his possessions now. Getting more meters gained, having a lot of clearances as he's always done, a lot of contested possessions he's always done. He's improved his ball use as well, and he's been a phenomenal part of the Saints. When Steely's been out, a few other players have been out to the midfield, Crouchy has stepped up. He's been awesome, averaging about 28 disposals this year, and he deserved the final spot on my field. So, thank you all for watching. I'm going to finish off with this. My final thoughts are simply this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/CribberG. You want me to roast a friend, wish someone a happy birthday, anything at all, head to cameo.com/CribberG. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Kick It Streams. It was a long one, but it was needed. All the rants, all the returning segments, Scoops Goes Bang, Team of the Week, Rolling Australian Team, everything. Supercoach Talk, the whole shebang. Thank you for tuning in. Please leave a like on this video if you haven't already. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Until the next time on Kick It Scoops, next Monday night at 7 p.m. Take care and go, you mighty Sainers, and all aboard the Filippo train.